Welcome to the Tiki Guy Podcast. Smash that subscribe button. I mean, hit it like it owes you money, because every subscriber keeps the rum flowing and this tiki bar stocked. Yes. All right, so what are we talking about? Tiki Guy's feeling good tonight. Tiki Guy's always feeling good, but if you don't know me by now, you will. Get something cold and light up something, because by the end of this, you're going to wish you lived next door. All right, so this week, we're going to talk about some, like the Tiki Guy show talks about. And it's about life experiences. And, everybody, we live in stories. And that's just life. You remember things that are told in stories. So, first one, let me tell you about one. We got the new video out, and it's Full-Time Tiki. And I was doing a little exercise class the other day. Tiki Guy does exercise. You got to stay in shape. Tiki Guy doesn't wear a lot of clothes a lot of the time because I'm at a beach at a tiki bar. So gotta keep it a little bit fit, So I'm in this class, and the instructor, who happens to be a very good musician herself, and she plays at tiki bars, no less. So she says, hey, today we're going to have all tiki music. We're going to start it off with one of our buddies here. It's in the class, the Tiki Guy. And she fires up Full-Time Tiki. It was fantastic, man. It was so cool. Everybody got into it, And then certain lines, like the one where it says, drink my martini straight up neat. And they go, yeah, neat, martini neat, yeah. It was a good experience. So that's why I'm telling you about it. All right, so I'm going to tell you about Florida hurricanes. I bet you didn't think that was coming. But no, it's interesting because, what other natural disaster do you get a 2 weeks notice for? You don't get that in California with the mudslides and the earthquakes and the fires and all the stuff that happens there. It just happens, So I'll take Florida. I'll take our disasters because, hey, what is it? 96% of the time, it's paradise. It's the other 4% you got to worry about. But we don't worry about them. What we do is we hear about a storm coming, and we do the common sense things, and we prepare our house just like any normal person would. And then we have a martini party or a margarita party, because we're going to enjoy this. Hey, it's coming here. Now, you can leave, Now, why stay if it's you really think it's coming here and there's going to be potentially water in your house? Well, I can't live in a house where there's water in the floor or in your bed. So that's out. So, but you got plenty of notice, so you take care of your house and you get out. You go somewhere there's not going to be a hurricane. Okay, so I'll take that. I'll take it, Not perfect, but, what place is? That's pretty perfect. So I did have one story about a hurricane. When I first moved in Florida, I moved here in 96. And that year, I don't know if it was that year or the year after that, but we had 4 hurricanes. And they were like a month apart, some of them. And I was like, wow, man, this is, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I thought I might get one a year, or maybe some years you didn't have any. But we had 4. And I got to really experience them in different ways. The first one, I put tie downs on my tiki bar because I thought, man, I don't want anything to happen to the tiki bar, and I could see it getting blown over, So I put these big bolts, big eyelets on there, and I put these cables into the ground. I thought, man, this thing's gonna get blown away. I don't want that. And we packed up everything. You know, believe it or not, you can pack up everything that's really valuable. Think about it. What can you not replace with a big fat insurance check? Most things. But the family videos and photos, those are valuable. You know, and you may want to back up your computer. And then you bolt. But you could put all that stuff usually in one box. And of course, grab the kids. You know, they're pretty valuable too. So we did that. And we went to, 100 miles inland. And what happens? It took a turn and it came right over where we were. Right to the place we were. And it wrecked that place. Now, we were in a safe place, but I'll tell you what, I always thought, well, this would be cool. I want to experience a 120 mile an hour wind. Nah, you don't. Because you can't stand up in it. You can't do anything in it. In fact, you don't even want to be out there where wind is going that fast, because everything is moving that's not totally nailed down. It's moving horizontally. So it will take you out. I mean, you ever seen like boards, wood, tree limbs, furniture? I mean, it's all moving horizontally. You don't want to get in the way of that. So that was good enough for me to see. I'm satisfied now. Like, okay, been there, done that. I don't need to be in that anymore. So we survived that, but it took 3 days to get back home. And we were only about 80 miles away, because most people had come there to get away from the storm and then to get back home. You know, it was like 400,000 people trying to get back home. And you couldn't even see the roads, because it was like everything was covered with leaves and it was all green. You know, you think, I know where the road is. I mean, you're on the expressway and you see this exit ramp, but you really couldn't see you knew it was an exit there, but you couldn't see it, because you go, well, I think it's right here. And you start to try to get off and you run over curbs and you're in the grass and you're like, oh, it's a bad idea. So it's not cool, you know. So the lesson on that is use your common sense. You know, I think in foreign countries, they have to rely on their common sense more than the United States. Aren't we the highest litigious society in the world? That means we can give it to an attorney and says, hey, I'm an idiot. I'm not responsible. So you take care of it for me. Like, nah, you got to have common sense, man. So anyway, that was the hurricane story. Now, part of that was that year we had 4 storms. Believe it or not, I only lost 4 palm fronds, you know, the palm leaves that you put on the tiki bar. In all these storms, I mean, they were knocking over oak trees and just wrecking things. But the tiki bar survived, because I guess that's why they use those kind of materials in in these island countries, because it's available and it gives. It kind of opens up, and like, palm trees, it's kind of cool to see them in a storm. They just kind of fold up, and they just go. They don't resist. But then the oak trees are sitting there going, I'm not moving. And you can see the whole ground around them going. You can see this big dirt ball is about to come up. If that thing comes up, palm trees are going, man, we're chilling. We're just. So anyway, that's a interesting observation about hurricanes. So in Florida, golf carts rule. Matter of fact, I wrote a song about it. And it was going to be called Golf Carts Rule, but I think we may change the name. Golf carts are here to stay. And one of the lines in there, it says, you can make it a beast or a mild machine or a tame machine. That's what it said. And, I personally like the beast. I've when you know how to do stuff, you just can't. You just got to do it. And I know how to make things fast. So it's a fast golf cart, and it'll rear the front wheels up. So you may see that in a future video. So yeah, be looking for that. But it's light. It's a very light golf cart, and when you want something that's going to be fast, you got to make it light, because you don't want you hauling a bunch of dead weight around. So the first thing to get rid of is those big batteries, those big lead acid batteries. So you get your lithium battery that knocks down about 400 pounds, and then you put in the bigger motor and then the computer controller, and pretty cool. Most golf carts now, when you buy a new cart, they'll come with something similar to that, and they're adjustable. They can go as fast as you want them to go, not as fast as you want them to go, but fast as you would ever want to go in a golf cart. So, but anyway, I just said I got to go a little bit beyond that. So, anyway, it's fast and it's fun, but I don't want to get killed into anything or kill anybody else in it. So we keep it under wraps, we keep it under control. So, all right, so interesting topics. That's an interesting topic right there. It's refreshing. So, you ever been to the beach and you're just sitting around looking like, what do people like this for? It's just nothing but a bunch of sand, and there's some water out there, and we're going to sit here and get fried. We're going to look like lobsters, So, like, why do people do that? Well, it's funny. I always thought about getting into this. I was going to get into the chair business and, beach chairs and umbrellas. And that could be pretty lucrative. But I've interviewed some guys that had dealt with that. And they said, well, the average stay at the beach is an hour and a half or less. And people will come here and they'll go, oh yeah, we want, you give them the hour rate, or you say, or you can have it all day for a few dollars more, or maybe twice as much. And they usually go for the whole day. I was surprised because, usually you think things through and do like, well, we're going to be here this long, we're going to go eat lunch. But most people don't do that. They, oh yeah, give me the whole day. He goes, and they'll be here an hour and 15 minutes. And they're out. And I rent them again to somebody else for a whole day. He goes, sometimes I get 4 people paid all day for those chairs and the umbrella. So it can be a good deal, but you got to learn the business, just like anything else. You got to learn the stats and the whole thing. And anyway, it was pretty amazing the money that could be made with that. And I thought about getting into it, and I go, nah, Tiki Guy. Rather just go throw down a mat, hang out for a little bit, get in the water, cool off, and then go find a tiki bar. That's my style. That's how I roll. Find one of these, and I'm a happy man. Happy Tiki Guy. So, things you got to look forward to. We got the golf cart music video. It'll be a great music video with that thing, because the song will be good, but the the video part will be fantastic, because, hey, you're in a golf cart. And Tiki Guy's got a golf cart, so you know it's going to be tikified. Everything will be tikified in the video. And there's going to be some cool-looking carts in there and some fun people. So that's what we do. Keep it fun. That's how the Tiki Guy rolls, and that's what the podcast is all about. All right, so in the first few podcasts, you might have noticed my shades. Well, they were pretty cool shades. I'd had some compliments on them, but then maybe it was because they were just different, and somebody wanted to make me feel good, and they go, "Hey, I like those shades, man. They got that white around them. That's pretty cool looking." And I go, "You know what? Believe it or not, these shades, I bought these things in 1990. Now, let me think. It must have been 1998. Yeah. Because I had a white car, and I thought these would be cool. They had a little white, they were Ray-Ban, they were like aviators, that was the big thing then. And I found these things. I started wearing them, and I got a few compliments. I'll wear those. Okay, I'll take that. But then my producer here, he goes, "Man, you look like you look like Biden in those things." I'm like, "Oh, that's not cool." So, hey, those are gone. He goes, "No, I'll get you some Cartiers, man, like E40 wears, like these dudes, they're these cool guys, And I'm like, okay. So I get on there and I start looking at them like, whoa, man, well, they're proud of those things, But that's all right. I sprung for it. And so here I be. Yeah, here I be. So anyway, that's how things come about, You got to have someone that knows it's been around and gets in your world and goes, "Nah, dude, that's not cool. You got to do this." And all right, I'm open to suggestion and criticism. Hey, how is she gonna grow? You don't listen to people. Hey, you're gonna be right where you are for a long time in the future. And you may not want to be there. So you want to grow and develop, take input well. So, last call, folks. Subscribe, stay thirsty, and remember, there's always more money to be made, but there's not always more time. Tiki Guy out.